Welcome back to Amy Kardashian and the Expert Show. This is the second segment with Town Jermaine, and we we recorded the first segment. So if you're watching live, you already watched the first segment. If you're watching on social media, again, I encourage you to go to akexpertstv.com to watch the first segment, so you could learn more about this amazing soul right next to me, and very, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being
Likewise.
on my show. I really appreciate your time.
The honor is mine. Thank you.
Okay, so let's dig deeper more a little bit about your story. What happened when you came to the United States? What was going in your mind, and how did you get the opportunity to be where you are today?
Coming to the United States unto itself is a challenge, because I remember coming here literally with nothing more than a dream in my pocket, and I arrived in Manhattan, and it was this amazing experience, and everything was so big, and there was a level of childlike wonderment which was a fuel. And initially it was very challenging, because I actually lived in a rat-infested studio in Spanish Harlem on 108th Street in Amsterdam, and it was challenging. And outside of that studio apartment there were drug addicts and just, and it was very scary. But again, I just focused on, who do I want to become? What do I have to do to get there? And I'm not going to allow this situation to prevent me. So it was a question of committing to my dreams and my goals on a consistent basis. And at the time I wanted to be a dancer. So I would take 4 classes a day. I would do as many auditions as I possibly could. I was just laser focused.
Just laser focused. So most people, they think, okay, you come to the United States, the land of opportunity, and everything is very nice, and everything's so easy to get to where you are today. And I know that, you know that, but majority of people have expectation. Even the people who lives in the United States, they have expectation to make it really fast and without paying the price for it. So when you came here, you were shocked a little bit what you were seeing, because it was a dream for you to come to United States.
Yes, in the dream it's also poetic and it's just smooth sailing, but the reality, that's not life. Reality is, life is tough and it's a challenge. And something that we mentioned before, and you reiterated it, there's challenge, but there's opportunity. And so as you're going through these challenges and these struggles, you have to focus on, this is an opportunity for growth. I'm not going to be here forever. And again, struggling in New York, I realized that, no, this is one of the best opportunities I've ever had, and I'm willing to eat less food this week, because I know
to survive.
In order to survive. But through going through these struggles, I envision what tomorrow is going to look like, what it's going to taste like, what it's going to feel like, and that's my motivation.
So let me ask you a question. That happened to me, because when I came here, it was a different challenge, because I lived in a war. I knew how to deal with the war. You knew how to deal with your country. But then coming to the United States, it's a different type of challenge that we have to learn all over again and face, to learn how to navigate that. How difficult that was for you?
It was very difficult, but it goes back to attitude, and the attitude is one of adaptability. In order to become the person we want to become, we have to embrace, welcome change. If we're not willing to change, we remain who we are. And so for me, the tools that I used is going back to my inner child. As children, we have enthusiasm for everything that we see, and it's magical. And so we learn by, a baby gets up and falls 100 times, it doesn't give up. It just does it again and again and again. And so I had to remind myself, what would the 7-year-old Vital, who was dreaming of flying one day, what would he do? And then the little smile would come on my face, and then I'd be like, yes, that's what he would do. And then that enthusiasm, that hope, that dream would make me forget the actual problem at hand, and I just focus on tomorrow.
It's just like you said, laser focus on something.
Yeah.
And this is, so what happened with the first interview you got?
The very first interview? With
the where you done
when I auditioned.
Auditioned,
yes.
Auditioned, not auditioned.
Cirque du Soleil. This is actually quite a funny story that's in the book, and it's more elaborate in the book. But the short version is, I'm living in New York, and I've not heard of Cirque du Soleil. This is back in 1993. I don't know who they are. And a friend of mine says, Vital, there's this French-Canadian company. She can't even pronounce the name. They're looking for acrobats, dancers like you. And I'm thinking, circus, this is silly. I'm going to be cleaning elephant dung, and I'm going to, be a human cannon and wear a clown nose, and it was silly. And then I went to the audition, but here's the blessing. I went to the audition with no attachment to the outcome. And so I went there, and I was probably the most authentic Town Jermaine that I had ever been. And it was a question of, hey, this is who I am. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do, but this is who I am. And then they sort of experimented with, hey, can you try this? And I'm like, yeah, I can try this, and I'm going to try this too. And it was just a question of being open, being free, forgetting my inhibitions, and that was the quality that got me the job. But I've since applied that in life. When we are our authentic selves,
it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Would you agree now, when we don't know anything about something, like I didn't know anything about having a show or doing a show, I just jump on it.
Yes.
In 1 week, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the show, I'm here, I'm going to just jump on it. Would you agree jumping on something without thinking about it too much, that will allow you to free yourself more?
I totally agree with that, because there's a beauty in, by jumping into something, you actually put yourself where you live in the moment. You haven't gone in and calculated it and worried and stressed. You just jump in it with reckless abandon, and whatever happens, happens. And humans, we're adaptable. And for the most part, we'll figure out what needs to be done.
So not too much thinking.
Not too much thinking.
Not too much thinking.
Let it go.
And let it go, right?
Yes.
Get out of your own way. So what happened, why you were inspired to write your book, and you wrote the second book? What inspired you to do that?
The initial process began just simply, I had this suffering of my childhood, this pain that was always there. Now, I didn't let it overwhelm me, but it was always there. And then so I started to journal and write to release it and let it out. And then as I started sharing the story with people who were very close to me, they were expressing, Vital, this is powerful, you need to share it, it's got a bigger purpose. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. And then I started to take the steps to write this book. And in writing the book, I realized, yes, my experiences, my pain, my suffering can help other people. And that was very empowering, that I now have an opportunity to inspire and empower other people to live their dreams. And it was the poetry that I think I was missing in my life.
To pay it forward.
To pay it forward,
right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Kind of like we got to where we want to be, and now it's our mission
Yes.
to share and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you hope. So I see that in you. I see that in your soul already.
Thank
You
you.
just want to help very, from the heart more than anything.
And along the journey, there were people who helped me.
Yes. And then
so, of course,
you want to pass it on.
Yes, you have to pay it forward.
Right?
Yes.
So when we come back, we are going to talk about what happened after you wrote the book, how you became a speaker,
Yes.
and what you're doing today.
Sure.
How's that
Yes,
sound?
sounds
okay,
great.
we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jamie Lee Metz, CEO and founder of Skin Fitness here in Las Vegas. We've been serving Las Vegas for over 17 years. We're proud to announce we just won 2017 Spa of the Year by Image International. That's the skincare company of the Miss Universe pageant. We offer exclusive treatments like our Time Eraser Facial, which uses multiple modalities and literally erases time. Our Pore Purge, which is the ultimate in hygiene. And our Fire and Ice Facial, which literally removes and soothes the skin at the same time. Come see us at our new location here in Village Square. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome back. We are here with amazing guest, Vital Jermaine, and we've been sharing his journey and how he overcame so many obstacles and came to United States and took an action to write a book to pay it forward. So now, after writing a book, what happened to that? What inspired you to become speaker? Not writing a book is different than becoming a speaker.
Yes. Again, as with all chapters in anybody's life, there are milestones where we feel we need to now evolve into something different or bigger and better. So I'd written this book, and I'd always been fascinated by going to listen to other speakers. And then a part of me thought, like, I'd love to do that. How do you do that?
Mm-hmm. That's a
Can
big
I?
question.
It's always how, yeah.
That's a big question, yes.
But once you understand what you want to become, that already opens the door. Then you just have to sort of figure out, okay, well, what are the steps that I need to go from A to B? And so then I started taking basic classes. I went to a group called Toastmasters.
Yeah,
and
me too.
That started me
Yeah.
off. And then it's a question of, like you said, you sort of just jump in it.
Jumped in.
And you figure it out. You're on stage. And I remember the
Yeah.
very first time I spoke, I was trembling, I was sweating, because apparently public speaking is the biggest fear.
You
after
think
death.
it's easy when you look at speakers
Yes.
and you say, oh, I could do that.
Yes.
And then you step up, you're like, okay, 1 minute left, what I'm going to say now.
Yes, it's a scary thing.
Yes.
But one of the things about succeeding in life is that we have to overcome our fears. And it's not a question of being fearless. It's more about having courage.
Yes.
Because courage is being afraid, but still moving forward and taking the steps. And then so through overcoming my fears, it got me closer each day to this dream.
Kind of feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes, but fear
You
can be
feel
our
it.
enemy or it
Yes,
can be
it could be
our
your-
friend.
yes.
So feel the fear
Kind of
and use
encourage
it.
you, push you
Yes.
more.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot in common here.
Yes, we do.
We should do some seminars together.
We'll write a book together,
Yeah,
do a seminar
something
together.
because
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
really have a lot in common. So now you speak, and tell me a little bit about your speaking.
So the speaking is twofold. There's the speaking that I do, which is for people on a more personal level, which is based more on the book. But then, having been in Cirque du Soleil, I had this wonderful experience about team dynamics, leadership. How do you make somebody go from great to extraordinary?
Nice.
And the process that I learned through Cirque du Soleil was amazing. How I witnessed they turn people into things that I'm like, how do they do that? And a big part of it, one of the big takeaways that I learned is, in order to become extraordinary, we have to step out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
We've got to take risks. We've got to be willing to fail.
Well, so basically, your circus, it was a lot of different teaching for you, teamwork.
Yes.
And how team encourage each other, because you have to rely on each other. You're jumping up and down, and if somebody didn't hold you, you have a problem.
It doesn't work if there isn't
Yeah.
camaraderie, trust, friendship. And it goes back to the leadership at Cirque du Soleil. So again, they provided us with tools that allowed us to become better versions of ourselves. But again, ultimately, the choice in any situation is a personal choice. So you can work for an amazing company with great leaders, but if you're not willing to do the legwork and become a part of that culture, it's not going to work. I've also been able to package strategies and solutions that allows organizations to optimize their employees. Because again, through the Cirque du Soleil process, I saw and experienced ways that they turned ordinary into extraordinary.
Wow, that's pretty good. Ordinary to extraordinary.
I actually stole that from
This
a
is-
quote by Jimmy Johnson, who's the former Miami Dolphins head
Okay.
coach, who says that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra.
Yeah,
So
that
are you
little-
willing to do that little extra?
Yeah. Well, you're doing a lot extra, basically. You not only came to the United States, you overcame obstacles when you were a child, then you had to overcome obstacles in the United States, and then you had to write a book and then become a speaker today, which you're sharing your knowledge and wisdom with others and inspiring others, really. It's what an amazing story to have someone shining and being the light and being the beacon
Thank you.
to the world. So I really appreciate having you here. Can you give us your website really quick?
Yes, you can find me at vitaljermaine.com, which is my personal page, or for my company page, engageteams.com.
Okay, and then if you're watching live, great. Stay with me. I have my second guest here. She's an amazing author. I will be introducing you to her very soon. And if you are watching on social media, go to akexpertstv.com to watch all of the segments. Segments will inspire you and help you in your business and personal life. For now, I thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back.
Are you frustrated and wasting time searching for high-quality education and entertainment and not finding it? Stop wasting your time. We've got your solution. Our 3 dynamic and unique online TV shows provide you with high-quality and easy-to-find content. Everything from business skills and self-development to book and movie reviews and everything in between. At akexpertstv.com, you'll find high-quality experts in their field in one place at no cost to you. Visit www.akexpertstv.com today.